When Walt Disney World opens as part of Phase 1, there is no doubt in anyone's minds that the rides and the rest of the experiences that you find at Walt Disney World will be quite different. It is extremely likely that when we go back to Walt Disney World, not every single attraction is going to open on that very first day or first week or even first month. And in today's video, I wanted to go over a few of those attractions at Disney that I believe will be open. And although none of this is confirmed, this is coming from my imagination, we're sharing some thoughts together, I think this is a really good idea of what we may see when those gates open. Starting off at the Magic Kingdom, which attractions will likely be open? First off, Journey of the Little Mermaid. You sit in that clamshell, you go and experience Little Mermaid, you don't touch too much, and you see all that is to be seen. The Jungle Cruise is also likely to be opening. The reason I think that is because the Jungle Cruise at Shanghai Disneyland opened on their first day of operation. So that's a very good kind of comparison. You can see those tape lines where you'll be sitting in the boat, just as an example. People will be separated, but I think they'll still be running. Pirates of the Caribbean doesn't require you to touch anything, and spacing on that ride is relatively easy. Just leave a row open between guests. Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room allows for a little bit of extra space so that guests can spread out a little bit and enjoy. It's a Small World, similar to Pirates of the Caribbean, has those boats. So again, having that space between guests is going to be easier on those attractions. You won't have to touch as many things. Although the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh has that handlebar that you pull down over your lap, I believe that it's one attraction that will open with everything else. Maybe some extra hand sanitizer or something like that, wiping it down. But I think that most guests will have their own honey pots. You'll be able to go through the attraction kind of with your own party. The Country Bear Jamboree and Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor don't require that you get in any vehicle at all. You just sit down and enjoy the show. Those are two that are relatively easy to social distance. The Haunted Mansion and Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover are also likely to open on that first day. People Mover, relatively easy, just put a space between guests, done. Haunted Mansion, it's easy on the ride. The hard part is the special drawing room where you kind of stand there. There are no windows, no doors, and there's always my way. The last attraction at the Magic Kingdom, which I think is an easy bet will open on the first day, is the Carousel of Progress. A great stage show that you get a chance to experience. Social distancing there will be relatively easy. Now let's move on to Epcot, and one attraction that is really on my mind today is Spaceship Earth. Although it was apparently celebrating its final day of operation just a few days ago, I think many of us believe that it will still be open when we go back to the parks. It was supposed to get that really big renovation. I think that may be pushed back for the time being at least, and then we have a chance to experience this version of Spaceship Earth for a little while longer. Now there is a counter argument to this, because on the Disney World website you'll see it's actually listed as under renovations or closed. Very interesting. We'll have to wait and see. Awesome Planet and the Pixar Short Film Festival are also very likely to open on that opening day, simply because again they are shows. You sit down in the chair, you enjoy the show, you leave. Very simple, you don't have to touch anything. The Seas Pavilion and the Seas with Nemo and Friends attraction are also likely to open on that first day, simply because the Seas is that large aquarium, super amazing to go inside. You can walk around, keep your distance from others, and the clamshells also kind of just have the one guest or one party in each clamshell, make it easy for you to kind of keep your distance and not touch too much. Journey into the Imagination with Figment and Living with the Land I think are also very likely going to open on that first day, simply because again you sit down, you don't have to touch too much, and you can enjoy the experience. Another attraction on my mind is Soarin', and I was thinking possibly it will open on that first day, but because it has that seat belt, that's a maybe, we'll see. Turtle Talk with Crush is also a bit of a question mark for me, just because there are a lot of kids and adults in a little bit of a smaller space. Maybe they'll be able to kind of change the capacity a little bit of that attraction, but that's a little bit of a question mark too. Frozen Ever After and the Grand Fiesta Tour inside the Mexico Pavilion featuring the Three Caballeros I think will also be opening. Again, boat rides, they can separate those rows and you can enjoy. The last three at Epcot, Beauty and the Beast Sing Along, the Reflections of China 360 show, and Canada Far and Wide are all likely to open on that first day. You may be seeing a bit of a theme here. The attractions with the boat style or even theater style are likely going to open. Think about how they can separate guests. Now we come to Hollywood Studios, and I believe Star Wars Launch Bay will likely open without character meet and greets. Now you may be saying to yourself, Michael, what is there to see inside Star Wars Launch Bay besides those character meet and greets? Well, they've got all sorts of different artifacts from the Star Wars universe. You can do some shopping there, and there's a theater for you to see a Star Wars show. Speaking of shows, the latest one at Hollywood Studios, Vacation Fun, which is actually very close to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and actually right across the way from Indiana Jones, will likely also be open. Muppet Vision 3D and Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, also those theater shows, I think will be open on that first day. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, I think will open. Again, it has those rows, you can separate guests. The queue line is a little bit of a different issue. Watching that show in advance, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. They're going to have to kind of space guests out, but I think it's possible. Slinky Dog Dash is another attraction where I think they can separate guests just a bit more outside, and then you can enjoy the attraction without worrying too much about anyone standing right next to you, because there's only two people side by side, so if there's no one next to you, you're just by yourself. I think that's how they'll do it for a ride like that. Alien Swirling Saucers and Tower of Terror, I was thinking about both of them, and I was thinking to myself, it's possible, 100% possible that those will open, but I'm doubting it. I'm doubting it for both, just because you have to kind of hold on to something, the handles, buckle the seatbelt. There are pieces to it where I think they're going to kind of maybe hold off just a bit to be extra safe, but we'll have to wait and see. Now we're on to Animal Kingdom, and although I don't believe Flight of Passage will open on that first day, I think Na'vi River Journey will. Again, a boat attraction where they can separate guests. It's easy to do. I believe all of the walking tours around Animal Kingdom will also be open, like the Maharaja Jungle Trek where you can see different animals. I think those will be open on that first day. In addition, the Conservation Station will likely be open on that first day as well, but it really depends on the crowd level, because sometimes the Conservation Station doesn't get really the attention from the guests, so they may keep that closed just simply because of capacity, but it's definitely possible they will open it. Last but not least, we've got It's Tough to Be a Bug, the theater show inside the Tree of Life at Animal Kingdom. I believe that one, another theater show, will open as well. I was thinking about Dinosaur for a little while at Animal Kingdom, but I decided not to include it on this list just because of those seat belts. Again, you gotta think about all those small pieces. Now, these are a few of my thoughts about attractions that I believe will open on that first day of operation during Phase 1, when Walt Disney World does reopen in the future. But those are just my thoughts. They are not confirmed by Disney. I'd love to hear yours in the comments below. Do you think I missed a few that will be included on that list, or do you think that a few need to be taken off the list? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me today. Until next time, have a magical day.